Welcome to a brand new podcast, and this is the Oracle 19. As always, my name is Mr. Greatness. For any business inquiries, you can put your business on this platform by emailing us, evolutionoflondon@gmail.com. And that's the same email if you want to make a free will offering to us. We definitely will accept donations of $1, $2, whatever you can spare through our PayPal account. Again, that's evolutionoflondon@gmail.com. And you can shop to our baby shopping mall, which is www.evolutionoflondon.com. We have a whole wide range of products from men's, kids, ladies' clothes, jewelry, house products, and much more. So that's evolutionoflondon.com. Also check us out at evolutionoflondon.org. O-R-G. There you'll find custom clothes, accessories, and ebooks for personal as well as business use. And finally, evolutionoflondon.store, S-T-O-R-E. There you'll find lotions, soaps, games, DVDs, and more clothing. So that's www.evolutionoflondon.store. We do have a Patreon account in which we have videos that's not posted on YouTube. So that's www.patreon.com/evolutionoflondon. Also, you'll find digital artwork, and we have consulting services as well. We have different links to other affiliates. www.linktree.com/evolutionoflondon. You can support us that way through our links to our other affiliates. Again, that's www.linktree.com/evolutionoflondon. Finally, you could check us out at rumble.com. You just type in the Oracle 19. We have shows there as we expand on Rumble. So that's www.rumble.com. And just type in the search bar the Oracle 19. Check out the company Royalty 9 International. They make homemade candles, 12-ounce jars, 100% soy wax candles, from scented to unscented. Now the scented candles is from frankincense, myrrh, jasmine, rose, eucalyptus, peppermint, just to name a few. So you can email the company if you want to place an order, royalty9international@gmail.com. And you can also find them on social media, TikTok and Instagram, Royalty9 International. Luxury candles, 35 plus hour burning time. So definitely very good quality. So again, that's Royalty9 International. Mr. Will, he's been a fitness consultant for over 15 years. So if you want to book a consultation, you can email him at healthfitnessconsultant1@gmail.com. Again, that's healthfitnessconsultant@gmail.com. healthfitnessconsultant1@gmail.com. And you can check out his merchandise, www.wjaaccessories.com. Again, that's www.wjaaccessories.com for custom clothes, accessories, and digital products as well. DJ Panthro, he's an international DJ, so if you want to book for him to come to your venue, you can email him at djpanthro519@gmail.com. Again, that's DJ Panthro, PANTHRO519@gmail.com. So definitely you can support him through his social media if you definitely want to check out his music and his everyday lifestyle. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, DJ Panthro519, and he have a bonus bonus, and that's, like I said, a bonus platform on TikTok. I like to call it Tickety Talk. So you just type in The Real DJ Panthro. That's D-A, The Real DJ Panthro. And again, follow him on social media. Music. Cheap Limousine channel on YouTube. We have a whole wide range of different beats. So once you go to his platform, like, subscribe, and share to Cheap Limousine channel on YouTube. And continue to train on YouTube, the Greatness 19 channel. We have over 630 shows to open up your third eye. So like, subscribe, and share. And pass the word worldwide to the Greatness 19 channel. And also Mr. Evolution of London, that's our health and wellness channel. So definitely like, subscribe, and share to that as well. A lot of great information there. So we definitely will look forward to your support there. And this beat here is, you check him out on YouTube, Strato Beats. That's STRATO Beats with the Z at the end. So check him out as well. Cindy's Place, she has custom clothes, accessories, and digital products. So you can check her website at www.cindysplace.org. Again, www.cindysplace.org. Now the Oracle 19 is on all major platforms. We're on iHeartRadio, Google, Apple, Spotify for podcasters, Amazon Music, just to name a few. So any information I haven't mentioned will be in the description box of the Oracle 19 podcast, the Greatness 19 channel, Mr. Evolution of London. Both of those is on YouTube. You find information in the description box on those platforms on YouTube. And Rumble. You just type in the Oracle 19, you will see information there. And finally, www.theoracle19radio.com. All right, well, as usual, I always give my perspective of different topics, my opinions, perspective. So some of it is triggering, or I should say a lot of it is triggering, but it's just something that gives you a certain awareness and you have your own opinions / perspectives. Today, I want to talk about what is going on with the youth of today. What is going on with the youth of today? Again, we have our own reasoning, and I'm not here to necessarily bash the young people out here. Range basically from 18 to 30. You could say that, But again, it's a different world. The people of, let's say, my generation or older or a little bit after, it's a different world. Okay? Now, I know a lot of you mature folks will say, well, in my time, we didn't do this, and my time, and we didn't do that. The previous generation said the same thing about us. And I don't want to get into that habit, but forgive me, folks, if I'm going to go in that direction, forgive me. But it is some truths in the previous generation sharing information, but a lot of us didn't listen. But what you see today is a whole different spin on things, I find. Again, my opinion. Now, what do I mean? A lot of it to do with the technology of today, such as the phone. The phone is a baby computer, which in previous generations, the technology such as the phone, if you're speaking of, let's say, 40, 50 years of today, it wasn't these smartphones, obviously. So you can get a lot of information in milliseconds with this phone. Because again, it's a baby computer. You can not only email, but you can fax and scan and retrieve information, and then video chat and so forth, so on. But what is out here today, and a lot of it, it's just weird to me, but I'm sure it'd be weird to you. In this day and time, things are so wide open today, and what I mean is the younger generation of today, I find, collectively have no regard of life. And you can see they could be disrespectful to their own peers. They could be disrespectful to children younger than them. They could be disrespectful, and they are disrespectful to that, and they are disrespectful to the elders as well. They have the style of dress is different. Men and women is wearing the same clothing. A lot of cross-dressing. It's promoted where men, young boys or young men is wearing dresses and carrying purses, painting their nails different colors. You thought you'd find that in the rock and roll community, but that's now, it seems like, it's acceptable in this day and time. You find boys, we just say this, boys / young men doing those things, and it's acceptable, it's embraced. Again, a young man's sexual preference is wide open, and what I mean by that is what is called today fluent, sexually fluent. That's out. That's wide open today. Being sexually fluent. Again, liking a man on a Monday, then changes his mind liking a woman on a Tuesday, and Wednesday trying to figure out, it could be either or. It's just being fluent, and that's promoted. And it brings a lot of confusion. A lot of young men are very confused these days. I find that also perpetuates a mental illness, my opinion. That's just one of many examples. And a lot of times, we as the generation before them really failed them, because we didn't really teach them the game of life, how young men to be men, to be leaders. And there's a lot of different factors of why the youth of today is so confused. And I'm speaking of the males right now before I go to the young women of today. But the young men of today, they lack leadership qualities and very confused and weak-minded, super sensitive, basically borderline female sensitive, meaning acting like a bunch of females. So you have no structure. And again, it's promoted that way. The agenda, it is an agenda in my opinion, because confusion and chaos destroys the human race. If you don't have structure within human beings, you have chaos. Don't you think that's systematically was put in place? And you might say no or how. Well, watch your local commercials. Watch your movies, how young men is acting. Very soft, very sensitive. Acting more like homosexuals. Even if that actor is not a homosexual, he's portrayed as a homosexual. They push that agenda, being sexually fluent. Men wearing dresses. Don't you think that's an agenda? This is the reason why our youth today are confused. And I'm, again, focusing on the young males right now in this conversation. You can even see it in schools. You're especially during Gay Pride. Gay Pride is stretched out, not only the gay month, but it goes beyond throughout the whole year. Flags is waved in the schools, t-shirts is being worn at the job, t-shirts are being worn in schools. But there's no agenda or nothing to talk about. What about heterosexuals? What about teaching young boys to be heterosexuals? Are schools really teaching that? Let me ask you, what are schools teaching more? Being sexually fluent or being heterosexual males? What say you? You see it at the job. Support of the gay community. Now, you could be whatever you want to be. I talk about that plenty of times. But what about, if you're going to talk about that, why can't be equal? If you're going to push the gay agenda, well, why you can't push the heterosexual agenda? Especially for the young males that is trying to find their way in life. But no, you don't want to do that. Hold on for a minute. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. And when I say hold on, hold on. Yeah, I'm just getting my music going. That's what I meant. Because get a good vibe. So forgive me. Here, let me do the adjustments here on the fly so I could get back to my sound here. So I can give you the knowledge from the scrolls. All right, we're going to do a little adjustment. Sorry, guys. Because, again, how I flow depends what music I'm playing at times. A lot of times. Majority of the time, actually. I'm freestyling when I'm talking to you. That's better. Okay. Yeah. Now I'm ready. Okay. All right. Now we're getting ready. Sometimes even Mr. Greatness get thrown off, at times. But let's get back to the topic. Young men out here they are very impressionable when they're young, from 0 to 18. And it's very important for young men out here to be surrounded with older men. I feel older heterosexual men that can teach them how to be men. The media, government, etc., is pushing an agenda, in my opinion, for the young males to be feminine. And you can see that. And it's not a coincidence where the agenda of having the woman over the man is put in place to weaken the family structure and the human race in general. That's why feminism is put on the forefront, in my opinion. Because as long as you have women being so dominatory and want to be in the man's place, there's no structure. And an agenda is put like women as being slowed down and stopped from being women. Their rights is being infringed and all of this other, in my opinion, nonsense, and it's put in the brains of young women. This is an agenda, in my opinion, my humble opinion. You might not agree with it, and it's okay. But let me ask you this question for you to think of on this. Is feminism and homosexuality within the community, within the world, within North America, I should say, is really working out for the human race? Is it making the human race, especially the young people, feminism and homosexuality, is it really building the human race? That's my question from me to you. And I'm saying this respectfully. I'm not talking within hate and malice and being sarcastic, and at least if that's not my intention. I'm really asking a question from me to you to think on this. Is this helping the youth? Is feminism helping the youth? Is homosexuality helping the youth, especially the heterosexual young men and women? Are they being built up to be better young men and women because of the feminism agenda or the homosexual agenda? Is this helping? That's my question. Now again, you could be whoever you want to be, but being that you want to be whoever you want to be, and a lot of the youth is so confused, they don't even know it's the agenda. Let me say this slow. There's not only male and female, but now they have a section where they call binary. I don't know what a binary is. What is it? You just trying to figure out what type of agenda. But I really know I do understand what it's about. It's basically not giving, basically what I would say a level of, not giving a agenda. You're not a man nor a woman. You just me. Non-binary. You just me. Whatever that is. You just me. You just floating out here. That's like non-binary. You don't want to attach yourself to being a man or a woman. I'm me. I'm her. I'm an it. Or I'm somebody. Whatever noun or adjective or verb you want to equate with this non-binary, that is on you. But again, is this helping the youth of today? Is this making them strong-minded? And you gotta wonder why this is being promoted so heavily, non-binary. At such a young age, you have 8-year-old, 10-year-olds that their brains haven't even developed. 13-year-olds, 17-year-olds, that is, I'm non-binary. You just barely learned how to wipe your butt if you were 17. 17, 15 years old, you just learned how to wipe your butt 5 years before. If you was 15, you just learned how to clean your butt properly just 5 years ago. Technically. Some of you still don't know how to wipe your butts as teenagers. Then you grow up to be men and women that don't know how to wipe your butts, but that's a different story. But again, you just learning how to clean yourselves as teenagers, learning how to take care of your body as a teenager. But yet and still you saying I'm non-binary. In my opinion, this is why it's so much, one of many reasons why it's so much mental illness of today. Because you're trying to figure out who you are. And another reason why I say what is going on with the youth of today, you have to wonder why, and I talk about this is going to be triggering now. Why is it smoking weed is so popular? Super popular. Really, is it? You look at in any city you go to, every town, dispensaries. There's about 4 or 5 dispensaries on a block, just like it was a liquor store back in the 70s and 80s. In the 70s and 80s in cities, there's like 3 and 4 liquor stores on a block. Now, the reversal. You have the weed spots. I call basically crack spots, I call it. But I know I'm being facetious that way. But weed spots, legal weed spots called stores on every block. You got 2 and 3 spots, weed spots, especially in the big cities. And in the smaller towns, you have that too. Why is that being pushed? Number one, the government is making billions of dollars off of it through the taxes. And number two, which is an agenda, as long as you are weak-minded and you need your fix, which is, in my opinion, I know it's going to be triggering because I know y'all guys got to say, I need my weed. You know, I know you need your weed. But see, a lot of you, majority of you, is not smoking it because you have a illness. A lot of you smoking it just for recreational purposes. You smoke it breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and anything in between. You're junkie. You're a junkie, in my opinion. You're a junkie. You're just a weed junkie. No, you smoke, you do whatever you want because you're not in my house. But that brings confusion because a lot of you, your habits are so bad, you depend on, y'all guys spend $200, $300, $400, $500 a month on weed. And then not including the cigarettes. And when we talk about the youth of today, the youth between 18 and 30 have these habits. If you're spending $200 on weed, on average you're spending $200 on weed per month, not including your cigarette habit, not including your alcohol habit, and then you gotta pop pills because you have anxiety and depression. You don't know anything about natural herbs because it's not being promoted to you. Golden seal tea, wormwood tea, peppermint tea, spearmint tea, black seed tea, cholesterol tea, ginger tea, cinnamon tea. There's a lot of teas out here. A lot of teas that can help your nervous system, that can help your anxiety, that can help your depression. And a lot of you young people is quick to snap your finger and say, I got anxiety, I got depression. Everybody got anxiety. Everybody got depression. Now you got to pop pills. Isn't this an agenda? To keep the youth medicated. To keep them in the fog. And again, my young people, I put the onus on the previous generation because a lot of us really wasn't able to give you the game of life, the game of knowledge, to really build you up, to make you proper young men and women. And this is another agenda, single moms. I talk about all of this on previous shows, but I gotta talk about it. As long as you have men and women battling each other, and it's really is women that have this hate, because the men always usually have to be in the defense mode. For the most part, there's exception to the rules. I get it. But for the women are the one starting the divorce. The women are the one that is leaving these men. It's the women that is separating the children from their dads. It's the women. And for their emotions and stuff like that, they got mental issues, and they interject that to the young men and young women, which is their sons and daughters, and then their sons and daughters become weak. The men become all sugary, all dainty, all confused. The young daughters become feminist, masculine, talk about I don't need a man. And then they run around, become older women, running around with their dildos, and then they have to go and try to have a relationship with a fake man, a stud, a wannabe man. So that's supposed to be a healthy relationship for you and your children, right? Confusion. So I apologize to y'all young men and women that have to figure it out on your own. See, what makes it tough in this day and time, you young men and women have to figure things out on your own, because your mamas, which is basically single mothers, they can't teach you nothing. They just teach you how to hate. They can't teach you the knowledge. And as a parent, because it shows within your education. I watch social media a lot. I listen to a lot of different programs, and you young women, and I can say with the men too, but I hear the young women can't even name 3 countries. I hear and I'm like, are they serious? Who is your mama? You know, your mama is busy going out to the club, or she's 45, she's trying to act like she's 25, dressing like she's 18, carrying herself like she's your age, and telling you, just get money from men and how to hate men. But you can't even teach your daughter to name 3 countries. You have daughters that get on TV, get on social media, and when someone asks them, name 3 countries, they say, Africa. That's not a country, ma'am. That's not a country, young lady. They say, Tennessee. That's not a country. That's a state. You can't even name 3 countries. You stumbling along. You forget saying United States. You can't even say Mexico. You can't even say Canada. You can't even name 2 countries in Europe. What's wrong with saying Germany? What's wrong saying France? You hear that a lot, but no, you could tell a man what he needs to have, what he needs to provide for you, young lady, but you can't even, you so stupid, you can't even name 3 countries. They have included you in to name any countries in Africa. You can't even say Egypt. Don't that ring a bell? That's a popular country. Can't you say South Africa? How about China? You can't say Japan. These is popular countries. You can't even say Russia. You don't know about the war with Israel, Palestine, Ukraine against Russia? You don't know that? But no, you saying you need a man that is 6 feet tall, 6-pack, 6 figures. Haven't your mother taught you anything? No, she only taught you how to get over on men. And so what's confusing about this, my youth of North America and the world, your mama or someone like your mother have sons, and they teach their sons nothing. Nothing. They just give them a toy at a young age to get them out their hair, and then they run around saying all boys is bad. But you got a son. You're not teaching your son how to be good, how to be disciplined, because you're a single mom and you undisciplined. So I feel, well, I said my uncle used to say this. He felt sorry for my generation. And I understand why. And now I'm going to say I feel sorry for the generation after, but I must double down. A lot of it to do with our generation not teaching them properly, or in a lot of cases, a lot of the men wasn't able to really teach their sons and daughters because the mamas have pulled the children away from the fathers. So a lot of you young men and women have to learn the game of life on your own, trial and error. This is why, on the same token, y'all guys need to pop pills, smoke a lot of weed, drink your liquor. You running around here, you don't know what gender you are, you trying to figure things out. You don't even know who you are, you don't know your history, you don't know your background, you don't even know who your family are. You don't even know your daddy. Many of you young people don't even know your daddy. You don't know where your daddy grew up. You don't know what type of lifestyle he lived, only but what the mother said. The little knowledge that the mama said. The mama don't even know the daddy. She don't even know the person she laid up with. She really don't. And this is a lot of you young people I'm sure you could relate to. You don't know who your parents was. And I'm not even going to talk about the genetics, because you might have certain personalities and you're like, why I have this personality? It's from your daddy or your mammy. But you don't know about that because, see, that can help you bring closure and understanding and give you more guidance just knowing who your parents are. You're not taught that. And you're not going to be taught that in school. You're just going to be taught, the schools is one big daycare. From grade 0, well, pre-kindergarten to kindergarten to all the way to high school. It's one big daycare. You learn nothing, generally speaking. You just know how to function. The children of today are dumb in terms of not only education but common sense. The way the governments in North America and European nations build the system, they build a system to make the children dumb and slow. You still think Christopher Columbus discovered America. This is still taught. They don't try to advance your young people to be young geniuses. They just have an agenda which is backwards, history that is old and backwards, math and science that is outdated, just enough to get you by. And you wonder why the kids, I look sometimes on TV and in real life, and you look at you pass through the schools and you see the kids getting out of school. In high school, they smoking their weed or they vaping, okay? Vaping. And the way they dress, the young boys is dressing like a bunch of sissies, and the women is dressing like a bunch of whores. No structure. And when I would say the word sissy, I'm not saying that in such a derogatory way, meaning the homosexuals, but when I use the word sissy, it's a terminology I use, being less than who they are. So I'm not disrespecting the LGBT to the Q to the fifth power community by no stretch of imagination. So don't get sensitive on me. My definition of sissy, my definition is for men being less than who they are. Now you could take that in different ways, but I'm just telling you, it's not no disrespect. But I'm stopped right there. But it just shows you there's no structure. This is why the youth today is confused. And again, I feel sorry for y'all guys because you have to teach yourselves. And that really hurts my heart. And I'm saying that respectfully. It saddens me, I should say. Just to know that the youth have to teach themselves. A lot of times, I know you young men and women, you wasn't, nobody, no man, no woman really teach you how to be a man and a woman overall. Your mamas is not really teaching you how to be a woman for your young daughters, your young ladies out here. Yeah, you learn your mother teach you maybe how to wipe your behind and teach you about when you get your period. What tampon to buy. But you're not really taught how to be a woman. And I'm going to prove this to you. Many of you young people that's listened to me. A, do you know how to walk? Have your mother taught you how to walk as a woman? How to walk? Have you been taught how to sit as a woman? Have your mother taught you that? Because again, a lot of you young girls is coming from single homes, and even if you in a two-parent family, it's really not structured because the woman is the boss, and that's a whole different story. But let's focus on you young ladies for a minute. Have your mother taught you not how to walk, how to sit, how to talk, how to be feminine? How to properly clean your body? Have she taught you how to treat other people, how to treat a man, how to truly treat a man, how to truly love a man? Have she taught you truly how to love yourself? Have your mother presented books for you to become more intellectual? Was you presented that? These are random questions. How did your mother teach you how to sit down and hold a fork and a knife? Etiquette. Have your mother sat you down and taught you foods to eat and not to eat because it could affect your pH level? Have your mother taught you that? And this is why a lot of you young ladies are confused. You wilding out here. You out here like savage beasts because you don't know. Do you know all the popping the pills that the doctor prescribed to you have side effects that can affect your pH level? Have your mother taught you that? Did your mother point you in a direction and tell you to research that? That's why many of your women pH levels is out of whack. Because you smoking heavy, you drinking heavy, you don't even get a chance to rest properly, you partying hard, you fornicating crazy, messes up your pH level. And you don't even realize that. Have your mother taught you that? Okay, so this is why. What's going on with the youth of today? Young men, have your mother taught you what type of women to avoid? Women like her? No, she don't, because she's going to deny and say you got to treat all women like queens. And the worst women out here is you looking at her, your mama. But she never taught you the game to avoid women like her. Did she? You have multiple children with different fathers. Have your mama taught you, young man, how to avoid women like her? How to avoid single moms? How to avoid a woman with multiple baby daddies? Have she taught you that game? Of course not. She told you, oh, celebrate, oh, you deal with her anyway, love her anyway. It's not her fault. It's the man's fault. It's this person's fault. It's the government fault. It's the devil's fault. Everybody, instead of taking responsibility of her own self, and that's your mama, young man. And if that is not your mama, that's your auntie, your grandmama, your great grandmama, your sister. There's somebody in your family that is like that. Have your mother taught you to avoid those type of women? Of course not. Have your mother taught you, showed you men in life that stand-up men that you need to follow, pointing you in the direction? Of course not. Have your mother sat down with you as a young boy and went over your schoolwork and taught you? Many of y'all young men never was taught. Your mother just rushed through your work and rushed helping you, sit you in the room, watch some cartoons or play games. That's what your mother have done. Your mother showed you an image of who she really is by letting different men come in the house and you call them dad, stepdad, uncle, blah, blah, blah. That is your mama. So you had to learn and still learning how to be a man. Unfortunately. What is going on with our youth of today? So you young men and women have to teach yourselves. And that's the sad thing. You have to teach yourselves and go through a lot of trials and error just to figure things out. And this is why many of you are failing mentally. Y'all bunch of savages out here because you have to learn and nobody's teaching you. And the woman that picked the man to procreate with was the wrong man, and he's out the picture. So what the woman do, your mama blames the man that she slept with, or the men that she slept with. She blames all the men that she slept with instead of pointing the finger at herself, because she decided to lay with them for weed and cheap liquor. Now you are born, young man, young woman. So I can see why you young men and women are confused. But here's the solution. My perspective. And this is something that should be common knowledge. Should be. One, obviously you know you have to self-teach yourself. You have to teach yourself how. And the beautiful thing about it is you always on social media, so it's your job to now watch certain YouTube channels to teach you women how to walk. Watch, because you could just watch videos and learn how to walk, how to talk, how to be feminine, how to upgrade your hygiene, how to have class and morals. And you men can listen to other men and learn how to be leaders. Read, be worldly. Start saving your money. Start investing so you can form a nation. Even when you meet a woman, you can meet a woman that is on your level, or a woman that you could teach because you're on a higher level, and you could build a nation, build a community. But a lot of you young men have, because you was under a whole bunch of women, you don't know how to be a man. So you must watch or listen to shows, programs, listen to other men to show you, to teach you. Contact those men, email those men, circle around with those men to learn how to be a man. And unfortunately, you have to go through a lot. And I get it, my young men and women of today. There's no rhyme or reasoning with this. Again, it's a tough road for y'all guys. And I'm not just pointing the finger at you particularly. Only when you get at a certain age, and when you start reaching 25, 26, 27, 30, you can't be doing the same foolishness as you was when you're 18, 19, 20. That you got to change up. But that's a different story. But the only solution I can give y'all guys is really hone in and be the best you can be. Young man and young woman. Whatever goals, I would say definitely number one, or it could be number one or two. Your mental got to get right. And that's circling around people that is positive. Anyone that is negative to you, or not progressive, or is not on your level, or above, someone that you cannot learn from, you need to stay away from them. That's young men and women alike. Stay away from people that will bring you down, that's not going to help you, that can't give you no advice, that cannot teach you, that is not on the same level as you, not striving for better things. That is number one. You can't be around them, because we in the fast-paced world today, and they will destroy anything you're trying to do. And it's not like yesteryears where your brand, your business, your character. You have social media. You got these camera phones. People could take a quick picture of you and defame your character in 5 seconds and the whole world see. Where 50 years ago there wasn't these smartphones, so it was a little bit harder to defame someone's character, just a little bit. So you have to stay away from these people. Number 2, read books to learn. Start knowing your geography. Start knowing countries. We're not talking about naming hundreds of countries, but geez, you should know about 25 off of the top of your head. Especially if you live in the United States. But even the world, wherever you live, you should know at least 20 countries as a young man, young woman. At least 20. Become worldly, young men and women. Learning other cultures, and it's not about following the other belief system, but just being able to have knowledge of how different people are in different parts of the world. What do I mean? If a person is from, let me think. If a person is from, let's say, Panama, most likely, they coming from a Spanish country. And to my amazement, there's people out here that didn't know that people from Panama speak Spanish. It's a Spanish country. Now, listen to me good. There's people, of course, that speak English. That's their second language. They learn that. But people don't even know that Panama is a Spanish-speaking country. Or better yet, I'll say Nicaragua, but Honduras in Central America. But people don't even know. Some people don't know that Haiti is a French-speaking country. People think that there's people out here that think Haiti is a Spanish-speaking country. One, I say this again. We know people in Haiti there's people in Haiti that speaks French and Spanish because the islands connected Haiti and Dominican Republic. This is basic knowledge that you young women and men needs to know. Geography, people, cultures, languages. We're not asking you to speak Spanish, or speak French, but know that Haiti is a French-speaking country, not German. It's something off like that. I heard stories that when you ask, I heard people thought that Haiti is a German-speaking country. That's wild. That don't make no sense. That's wild. It's wild. It's ludicrous. Ooh, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane when people don't know general things, the general information of life. And it's sad. I remember many moons ago, I was working at a department store, and I was working in the men's department. This was many moons ago when I was a teenager. And a young man, same age as me, generally speaking, he was buying an item, buying a pair of jeans, and I was ringing him up. And he paid by credit card, and then I asked him, I pointed where to sign, sign his signature. And he signed it. And after he signed it, I took a look at it, because I looked at the back of his card to make sure his signature matched his signature on the paper, just standard procedure. And I didn't see no signature on the back of his card. It didn't bring a red flag because many people forget or don't even bother. But so I just wanted to look at his signature. And sometimes you're supposed to ask for other ID, driver's license, so forth, so you can match signatures. So he had his other ID out, and I looked. But I didn't even bother with that because I immediately looked at the paper, and he put an X as his signature. And I looked at it, and I said to myself, what type of Jim Crow? I thought this was 1959, 1949. I just blinked. I blinked, and I looked at it, and he had an X. He was embarrassed because he didn't know how to write. And he just put an X. So I know a lot of people would have, probably other sales associates would probably chewed him out, and they would have chewed him out. He was there for the kill. But it was a teachable moment, and I said, nah, you just don't worry about it. I said, I kind of signed it. You're not supposed to, but I helped him through the process and showed him what he needed to do. And he thanked me. And because he knew if it was someone else, they would have voided the sale and told him to get out of here and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. But I walked him through the process. And I told him, this is how you're supposed to do it. And I actually had a blank piece of paper. And I spent an extra 5 minutes because it was a late night and it was no customers behind him. So I had the time to really go over and show him. And on a blank piece of paper, I showed him, this is how you sign it. Or if you can't sign it this way, you sign it that way, but you got to show some type of signature. And he thanked me, and, we really appreciate that. My point of making that is, even in this modern day time, there's people, a lot of the young people of today don't even know how to read and write. They just fast track through the school, through the educational system, and school just pushed them out, and they really don't know how to read and write. And I noticed also script handwriting is obsolete. It's just, that's obsolete nowadays, because I know growing up, we had to learn how to print our names, and we had to know how to write in script. And basically, people that don't know, it's like fancy way of writing your signature, or fancy way of writing words, writing in script. If it was a video to this, I can show you, but obviously, you have to Google that. That's becoming obsolete in schools now. These are the basics where I think this is what the young men and women are missing. The children is missing. Is the basics. Schools is not. At one point, I know my mother told me about this, that they had, and I know it was in my era a little bit, how to, certain classes, etiquette classes you could take. And that was very important for women and men too, knowing how to sit and walk and so forth, but knowing how to hold a fork and a knife, and how to conduct yourself. And young men don't even know how to tie a tie. because there's no father around, and if it is, he wasn't taught how to tie a tie, and so there's a missing link. But the good thing about it, young men and women, was young men and knowing how to tie a tie, you can go on YouTube and you can learn. That's quick ways, because on YouTube and social media in general, you can learn. You could be a lawyer or a doctor, pretty much. And I say pretty much because still you need hands-on, especially as a doctor. But you can learn so many things to be on a high professional level just watching videos and going on social media, because everything is on social media. Everything. Good and bad. But unfortunately, we are taught that evil is good and good is evil. And this is why you young men and women is suffering, because you soaking in all the evil and not soaking in the good to build your mind, to build your mental. You just taught how to be a bunch of freaks, and you taught how to not know your gender, and you taught how to hate each other as men and women. That's what you taught. There's tons and tons, thousands and thousands of videos that is taught how basically women need to hate men and men need to hate women. Thousands of videos teach you basically how to hate each other. And I know we have differences, obviously, and we frustrated with each other. But you have to look at this at the end of the day. We do need each other as men and women. We both need each other as men and women. You know, sure, I have my gripes with females out here, but you notice I always say there are positive women out here. They're not all bad. I say the 2%, and I stand on that. Same thing, the reversal. I can say with men out here, there's like 2% of decent men out here for the ladies, collectively around the world. But guess what? It is a percentage. But in how you elevate towards meeting that, you have to also, your mind have to be on the wavelength, on a higher wavelength to meet that significant other. And that takes hard work mentally. You just can't sit back and just say, I hate, and blah, blah, blah. You have to build your mind in order, and that goes man and woman, in order to find that person. Now, the thing about it is there's a lot of loopholes and sidetracks and all of this other stuff. A lot of times we as human beings have done so much degenerate stuff over the years, decades. Now you 40, 50 years old, and you talking about you looking for a man or woman, you pretty much destroyed your life. And now the percentages is real low to find someone, because you want to find someone around your age range, especially you women. If you 40, 50 years old, it becomes harder to find somebody decent in your age range. And if you talk about going down and finding somebody, a man 30, 20, that's not in reality the natural order of life. Where the difference with men, that man could be 50 years old and he could have done all the degenerate things. But guess what? If he got his life right when he's 45, 50, he can find a woman that is 25, 30, 35 that would easily want to rock with him. Now, is it all women of that age group? No, because, it's a negative world. I already established that. But his chances is much better than yours, because that's just how life works. And I talked about on other shows, because you have more women out here for men. Each man have at least 10, 20, 30, 40 different women they could pick from. That's not the reversal. Because there's more women on this planet Earth than men. So men are the prize. Men have the options. That's the reality. That's the natural order of life. And a lot of women cannot deal with that. So this is why you fall in the pitfalls. But let's bring it back to the youth. You young ladies out here, I don't want you to fall in the pitfalls like your mama did or your auntie or your grandmother. This is why I'm trying to explain to you, to really teach you, to show you that while you're in the prime of your life, you can do better. To elevate your mind. Because again, the reality is you got to learn this on your own. You don't have no parents to really help you. Most of you. And if you young daughters have a father around, you better take full advantage to really soak in that knowledge. If you have a decent father that you can communicate with, you better take full advantage and talk to that man every day or every week so you can get the game of life. Don't go on around this planet Earth and you have to learn it on your own. Because you're going to fall in the pitfalls and then you're going to end up being like your mama, your auntie, your grandmother, and you're going to waste your life. Trust me, don't think you inventing the wheel. Don't think you doing something fly and new, because your mama thought the same thing. Your grandmother thought the same thing. Your cousins thought the same thing. Your aunties thought the same thing. People on TV, they're entertainers, the millionaire females, housewives of Atlanta, housewives of New York, housewives around the world thought the same thing. They was young once like you. And now they old and bitter, and their life is gone because they didn't take advantage of the men that they could reach out and touch and talk to, like their fathers or their uncles or somebody that's positive. And you young men out here, you have to go and seek, because you hunters, you future young hunters, you young up and coming hunters. So it's very important for you to hunt and gather for men out here to properly teach you game, to get you gamed up in life so you could be leaders. You cannot be leaders hanging around with your mama. You can't be leaders hanging around with your auntie, your grandmama, your female cousins. They're not going to teach you, they're not capable to teach you how to be a man. They're capable to teach you how to be a woman, but not a man. And see, these mamas of yours have different men coming in the house that you have to see at a young age. I feel sorry for you. I pray for you that you make it, because most of you, the sad thing is, most of you won't make it mentally. Most of your mom is the first line of defense to destroy you. And she don't even realize it, nor she cares. She just want to get back at the world, starting with her mistakes in life. Get back at the man she was with, or men in general, or you are the new son husband, so she can make you like a little sissy boy. So you young men have to learn on the fly to be a man and pick up the pieces, because your brain been brainwashed from 0 to 18. That's why you young men rebel. That's why you in the streets shooting up everybody. That's why you in the streets mixing drugs, being heavily medicated, dressing like females, very soft and cuddly. because you reaching out. I know you need help. You need somebody to reach out and help you. And the only way is you, my young men, my future warriors, have to learn on your own. Just like your sister, your young sisters have to learn on their own. So this is what's going on with the youth of today. This is the problems. I don't put the onus on them. I put the onus on the previous generation. But the previous generation is messed up, and a lot of times the previous generation don't want to correct the wrongs. We just want to continue doing wrong, and the children suffers. You see, long when I'm gone from this stinking planet Earth, yay, you will hear, hopefully, this show, and you will pass it along to family, friends, and foe. You pass it around the world to the youth, and hopefully they will learn a different perspective. Hopefully, among other people that have bigger platforms than me and maybe make more sense than I. But hopefully this will reach you. And hopefully this is something that will help you. You share this. It's all about waking up the human race, right? The young, the youth, because they the future. See, with me, it's pretty much over. The tank is half full. I'm just shaping up my life to be the best person I am and pass the information along to the next generation. But you fresh, you young, men and women, you out here trying to find yourself. You one day gonna get old. Everybody do. Everybody will get old. That's just the sands of life. But guess what? While you still have your youth, while you in your teens and 20s, be the best you can be, whatever that is. Make sure you maximize all the great opportunities for yourself. Learn, read, investigate. Learn to be a better you, mentally, physically, spiritually. And the only way is, number one, surround yourself with people of like mind. And two, go get it. Research, read. You got a phone. I know a lot of you don't like to read because this is such a fast pace. Learn to slow things down, young men and women. Have patience. Sit and read. I know your brain is not wired on that. Your brain, your attention span is short, super short. But that's because you got to learn to be patient. You got to learn to take your time. Sometimes you got to sit and analyze, sit and read. You got to train your body to be more patient. Everything got to be fast. You got to talk fast. You got to act fast. You got to react fast. You don't want to do this. It got to be fast, fast, fast. Like a microwave oven. Take time out, young men and women, and learn to be patient. And that's one of the main problems of the youth, because you've been programmed fast, fast, fast. Even at the job, fast, fast, fast. And is not being efficient. This world is about speed. This is why there's a lot of mental errors. But sit back, analyze, be more patient with yourself, build your mind, be a better you. And therefore, you will see the results. Because again, you have to learn life on your own. And yes, I know you mad at the previous generations. You might be mad at your dad, your mom. I get all of that. And it definitely some justifications about that. We are responsible as a previous generation. And I say I'm sorry. We sorry. Hopefully we. But I'm sorry for y'all. But what I can say is, hopefully this information will find you, and hopefully this information can help you. So therefore, you can be a better you. And again, listen, if any random people want to reach out, any youth, you have the email, evolutionoflondon@gmail.com. Any questions, concerns about life, just send an email. I'm not no master teacher or anything like that. I'm just a regular person striving to be the best he can be at this stage in life. But maybe information I can share with you can help you. Because again, you are our future. So if y'all guys is not doing the right thing, there will be no future. It's just going to be continued chaos. Thank you for listening.